Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. Today is a plant update video. So let's get started. We are going to start with my Christmas and Easter cactuses and see how well they've done for the past week. The past week with the weather's been kind of back and forth. It's been cold some days, then it's been warm some other days, so it's really throwing off my cactuses at this point. So here is the Easter cactus, and as you can see, the Easter cactus is doing quite well. Everything's growing quite nicely. No signs are really of big distress that I need to worry about. Everything is growing quite nicely. There's a bunch of new leaves coming. There's some old leaves that are falling off, which is totally normal. But if you have like a bunch of leaves falling off and they're not growing any new ones, that's a sign of concern. It's probably saying, the plant is probably telling you that it's in a little bit of distress and you should probably repot it into a bigger pot. Since this guy is in a pretty big pot and just like maybe a couple leaves falling off and there's at least like 4 to 5 more coming in, I'm not saying that it's in distress. It's just probably the normal growth with the weather going off and on like this it is currently. So I'm not going to say that one's in distress at this point. So here is the Christmas cactus that, if you saw a few weeks ago, had a flower on it. And with the weather being the way it is, I'm not so sure that we're going to see any more buds. There are a few here that are that were buds, but as you can see, they're going back into the leaf. So yeah, with the weather not being so consistent as I would like it to be, so the buds that were on this cactus are going back into the leaf. So we just have to wait and see what the next few days hold. If it gets cold, those buds might come back out. If not, they will go back in the leaf and die off, I guess. I don't know how that part works. So here is another Christmas cactus. This guy wasn't producing any buds, which is probably a good thing since the weather's been the way it is, but it's still nice and green. And I did fertilize these guys, so no worries there. They do get fertilized every couple of weeks. So everything is looking good. See, there was a possible bud right there, but now with the weather, probably not going to happen. But in the springtime, I'm definitely going to repot these guys. Definitely going to repot them for sure. So now we're moving to my aloe plant. And as you can see, this leaf right here is starting to die off completely. That's totally normal. The bottom leaves should die off eventually, but as long as it's not the middle, the newest leaf that's growing that's doing that, I'm totally cool with it. Everything is looking good with this guy. So now we are going to move on to my orchids. We're going to start with my Dracula orchid back here. So the way I fertilize this guy is pretty much the same way I water it, but with this guy I put very little fertilizer in its water where I soak it, and then when I do it around the same time I do my Phalaenopsis orchids, so about an hour, then I take it out, I change the water, I put clear water, and I just dunk it for a few seconds and pull it back out and hang it. So this guy is looking good. There's a couple leaves falling off, but that's not really something I'm really concerned about. These guys are hard to overwater, so I just try to do at least every day to every other day that I dunk it in some nice clean water, some nice clean distilled or collected rainwater. That is the water that I do all my orchids in, no matter what their species is. So for my Dracula, it's the same as I do my Phalaenopsis, distilled water or collected rainwater, which I do collect. So now we're going to move on to my Phalaenopsis orchids. So here we got this guy. It has no new leaves growing, but it does have roots growing like crazy. And then we have this guy right here. This, if you watched last week, you would know I would say this is either a flower spike or it's going to be a kiki. Right now, I'm still unsure about that, but I do feel bumps in it where it could sprout roots at some point. But right now, it's still a 50-50 shot. And if you're hearing little scratches in the background, that's my cat playing with the box, pretty much. He loves the boxes. So then we get this orchid right here. As the sunlight has changed, apparently. And we get everything growing. We get this nice, beautiful flowers like this just coming in. It looks amazing. And the root system is doing quite well. On a few of these, I had to cut a couple of roots, but not too bad. So the roots that are dying off were like maybe just a couple out of the whole bunch. So that wasn't too bad for me. Because every time I change their water, well, when I fertilize them, I check the root system to make sure that they're all healthy roots and none of them are drying off. So then we got this guy who has this nice, beautiful leaf coming in. Everything is looking good. You should expect the leaf that's coming in is going to be bigger than the previous leaf. That's usually how it goes. That's why they take up so much room. But everybody's looking good. The root system's doing good. The leaf's doing good. The flower spike is doing quite well. It's still intact. It's not going anywhere yet. So that's very, very exciting. So now we are going to move on to my big guy here. He's my big guy because he has the biggest flower spike, as you can see right there. And it also has this leaf still growing. It's not as big as the other one yet, but I'm expecting it to be as big as this one or bigger. That's usually how phalaenopsis grow. And we get this beautiful long flower spike that's doing quite well. No signs that it's dying off just yet, and the root system is looking pretty good. And no leaves are falling off yet. If you see leaves falling off, you would like it to be the bottom leaves, not the middle or the top leaves. Because if it's the middle or the top leaves, that's usually a sign for concern. It's like it might have some type of infection, which is causing it to let the middle or top leaves die off. And you don't want that, because that's just more of a headache that you have to deal with. So if the bottom leaves falling off, that's totally normal. So then we got this guy right here, who's still growing steadily. Its roots are doing well, the leaves are doing well, no new signs of new leaves as of yet. But everybody else is looking good. The roots are doing wonderfully. There's like even growing more roots, which is what I love to see. And then we go to my orchid that I know for sure is growing a kiki. Because in this little guy right here, it's growing a root. That's usually a sign that it's growing a kiki if it has roots in it. So it just has one root, and there's a possibility of another root coming in, which I need to wait till this guy's a little bit bigger before I will cut it off from the mother. You can either leave it on or not. I'm not going to leave it on the mother because this guy's been through a lot the past few weeks. So when it's big enough for me to detach it from the mother plant, that's what I'll do. But right now everything is looking good. Just has this one root coming in, and hopefully in the next few weeks we will have some more roots coming in this guy to the point where I can detach it from its mother plant. So now we're going to go outside. I'm going to show you my aloe plants and my rose bush and see how they are doing over the past week. And I'll see you guys in just a second. Okay guys, we are outside. See, the mother aloe plant right there is doing wonderfully, and all of her babies are doing well. And one of the stray cats came to say hi to me. So all of her babies are doing quite well. Everything is looking good, and hopefully we'll see some more growth within the next week if the weather permits it. Say hi to the stray cat. So here is my rose bush. As you guys can see, the rose bush is doing quite well. Everything is growing nicely. Everybody's been fertilized and ready to grow. So hopefully we might see some more roses within the next few weeks. We just have to wait and see. Okay guys, you just saw all the beautiful, amazing updates from outside. The aloe plant, the mother aloe and her babies are doing quite well. Last time I checked, they're at 6 babies. The rose bush is doing quite well. You might have seen a stray cat out there. That stray cat comes up to see me every single time I'm outside, but that's what's life. The rose bush is doing quite well. There's new growth coming, so hopefully in the next few weeks we will see some buds and some roses So that's very, very exciting for me. So thank you guys so much for watching. Again, all the links to the fertilizers that I use, the thermometer and humidifier detector that I use for my orchids, which is this guy right here. I use that to make sure the temperature is just right, the humidity is just right for my orchids. That will also be in the description below. And go check it out in case you would like to buy one of these things for yourself. The fertilizers, the argument description down below is the fertilizers that I use every 2 weeks. So no worries, everything that I use will be in the description below. I would never try to sell you guys on something that I wouldn't personally use or love to use. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please like this video if you liked it, share to grow our community, and subscribe if you are new here. I do these videos every single Tuesday, and hit that bell so you're always notified when I put out new videos, and I'll see you guys next time.